Every few months, there is this drawing contest. A theme is announced, and you get a few weeks to make your thing and then post it on Twitter with 0 likes and 1 lost follower. If I win, I might just be able to afford 1 week of rent in New York with my rat roommate. But if I lose, all I'll be left with is the crushing realization that my life is going nowhere and I'm never gonna achieve anything. So the theme for this one is summer fun. Now, when I think of summer, the first thing that comes to mind is how the days are just way too hot to actually do anything without turning into a puddle. So the idea for this one is simple. This is the composition. You have a nice cool night, a tent, a few characters and some cards. Because who doesn't love a good game of brand here? Now, I really tried to get the whole emotional spectrum in here. That being the snoozers, the gremlin, and an aggressive gambling addict. Looking at this, you might be thinking, oh, but funny man, those are people. How the hell are you gonna draw those? You don't know any anatomy.
That's right, we're gonna cheat.
Because this is the only way all my time in SFM will ever actually be useful for anything. So we throw on a few models, position, and yeah, it's just that easy. We have successfully beaten all of art. Now we just have to make a detailed sketch. It's really just coming up with some simple outfits, faces, and props. We're going for a pretty casual sleepover type look here. Nothing fancy because God knows I cannot design intricate clothes. Now, I really struggled coming up with anything for this one, but then I rewatched and the rest just kind of came to me somehow. So this is the detailed sketch, and now that we have this done, we can do it all again, because we need the liner to be on vector layers. This segment took like 20 hours of footage, and I swear to God I'm never doing this shit again. This sucks. It's so much work for so little, and I had to rework this all the cards and like just inside and so that was that. Now we just need to block out all the base colors. And because apparently I'm a psychopath, I decided to make each color an individual layer just in case I wanted to adjust them later. I did not adjust any of them later. I didn't record choosing the colors because that's really boring, but this is what they look like. And now with that we can finally get to the only fun part of drawing, which is lighting. So to briefly explain the idea here, the whole thing basically hinges on the contrast created by this one singular light source. You know, you have the cold, desaturated outside and then the warm, vivid inside, you get it. I'm not gonna go into detail about every questionable decision I made here, but to summarize, we have the main light hitting the characters and props directly. I know that realistically they would cast shadows and obscure each other, but I don't wanna think about that. The accent light to fill in the shapes a little more. I imagine that a part of the light from the lamp would bounce off of the tent wall. May be wrong, but that's what that is. And then the bit of moonlight outside to make it a little less boring. At this point I also made a simple background using a starbrush that I got from the asset store. I thought about adding clouds, but I just didn't like how messy it was. A clear sky just fit the atmosphere more. Later on I also redid the stars to make them more dense and added a spindle because I thought that would look like neat and give it a sort of ethereal vibe. Anyway. Shadows. Yeah, remember what I said like 30 seconds ago? I know that realistically they would cast shadows and obscure each other, but I don't want to think about that. Yeah, well that's more important now. To make things simpler, and because I ran out of time, this was like the final day, I'm only using 1 layer of shadows. What that really means is that this shadow should be darker than this shadow, but for us they're the same. The reason this is important is because shadows really do 2 things. Show where the light is coming from, obviously, but they're also used to show the form of what the light is hitting. So what's the problem? Yes, the characters should cast shadows on each other and parts of them should be completely in shadow, but I just thought that looked just flat and bad. So instead, we're just gonna cut into the shadows to create some semblance of being 3D. While it may not be realistic, let's be honest, we're clearly not going for realism here. Yeah, there's not much else to mention about this. These slippers are fuzzy, I thought that just looked neat. After that, we just add some finishing touches, like the eyes, we rework a few things, adjust the lighting color and saturation a little, and we're done. And it only took a... So, after all of that, was it worth it?
Where am I?
Did I achieve something?
Who the hell are you?
Is it the best thing I've made?
Hey!
More importantly,
Fuck you!
did I actually win?
Kiss my ass!